Now, I also have the pleasure of welcoming our sponsor for this breakout session, Prudential. Thank you so much for being here. So I want to take a moment to welcome Kelly Keene, the International Reassurance Associate, to do some opening remarks.
Good morning. It's still morning. It feels like it should be, 3 o'clock in the afternoon by now. Again, Prudential is the sponsor of this session, and I would like to say Prudential is a purpose-driven company, and we make lives better by solving the financial challenges of our changing world. We are committed to doing business the right way, strengthening communities, and providing a diverse and inclusive work environment. Today, I'm going to be introducing Donna. Donna Kane is a retail branch manager for Fidelity Bank. After a lengthy career in retail sales, she pivoted and started a career in banking, which seems to be very common today. Kane has more than 20 years of customer service sales and leadership experience. Throughout her career, Kane has had the opportunity to recruit, develop, nurture, and promote her team members. She has a passion to lead and coach others. Kane serves on the Marley's Mission Board of Directors as treasurer. Kane is a graduate of Scranton High School. In addition, she is a 2022 Leadership Lackawanna Core Program participant and was chosen by her peers to receive the Shining Star Award. Currently, Kane serves as an advisor for the Leadership Lackawanna Core Program. So let's give Donna a round of applause, and looking forward to your session.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Is this a dream? Because somebody just really needs to pinch me. I'm so very excited to be here and just absolutely honored and humbled that you all came to see me speak today. My only hope is that you leave here with something valuable. How many of you have been here before? Awesome. How many are you first-timers? What are you really looking to get out of today? What is the number one thing you want to leave here with today? Any takers? That's okay. I hope you leave here with something that really impacts your life that you can take back with you, even if it's just one thing. So when the theme of this year's conference was announced, I knew it was finally time for me to dream big and submit my speaker idea. I've been intending Empower for a few years now, and I always left thinking, hey, I think I could really do that. I think I could stand up there and I could talk, and I could bring something of value. So I was really brave, and I took a chance, and I submitted my idea, and it was actually chosen. So about a month ago, I realized that this isn't a dream. This isn't a drill. This is real life, and I'm actually going to be a breakout speaker at one of the largest business events in northeastern Pennsylvania. Then our lunch keynote speaker was announced. And let me tell you, I am starstruck and cannot wait to see Dominique Dawes speak today. Imposter syndrome has really been rearing its ugly head this month for me, and I'm ready to kick it to the curb. I am reminding myself that I belong here, and so do each and every one of you in this room. So who's with me? Let's dive in. So welcome to the Leadership Development Track. My presentation, Dream Big and Leave No One Behind, Developing Your Team and Their Dreams, is meant to change the focus from dreaming big for ourselves into helping to coach, develop, and assist our team and employees in dreaming big instead. This presentation today is going to cover a little bit about me and my background, the importance of building strong relationships within your network. I would honestly not be where I am today without a strong network. A small section on servant-style leadership and how that ties into my own management style. And team member development, as well as some actual tools and tips that you can leave with today to help to get to know your team better. You will all leave here with something tangible. You've already received your handout. You can keep this and leverage this during your coaching conversations. We'll wrap it up with question and answer period, so I hope you guys do have some questions for me. And be sure to submit your questions in the WOVA app as well. So a little bit about me and my journey. So I'm a Scranton native. I'm an 80s baby, hailing from the South Side area. If you're from Scranton, you will understand that neighborhood designation is very important. I graduated from Scranton High School in 2002, I went to Lackawanna College for a brief amount of time, majoring in accounting. All I really knew at the time was that I really liked math and numbers, but school at that age just wasn't for me. I've always enjoyed learning by doing and have worked in the customer service industry since I was about 16 years old and cashiering at the local grocery store. I come from a very long line of hard workers with a coal miner's mentality and have never been shy to hard work and putting in my time. I went through the usual ups and downs in life, relationships, career changes, until I found my calling in the retail sales world, the mall. But as a leader. And finally, my sales, client experience, and leadership capabilities led me to the banking industry and finally to my forever home at Fidelity Bank. Currently, I am a retail branch manager, but I don't plan on stopping there. I'm married to my partner, Steve, who never pushes me down. He absolutely is not intimidated by my leadership qualities, and he celebrates my wins and wished me luck about 20 minutes ago and said, "You got this." Together we have 2 boys who have also been extremely supportive in putting up with me in this last week, as my nerves have been a little crazy. I'm also lucky enough to have my sister, who is my rock and my very best friend. We work together, we volunteer together, we play together. I've also been lucky enough to surround myself with the most incredible group of strong, independent, caring, and like-minded women who I get to call my very best friends. So enough about me, I'll get into the presentation. I wanted to open with a quote. Booker T. Washington said, "There are 2 ways of exerting one's strength. One is pushing down, the other is pulling up." This quote resonates deeply with me, as I have always believed in this mindset of helping others, celebrating their successes, and leaving no one left behind. I truly believe that this mindset of pulling others up has contributed not only to my success, but more importantly, to the success of my team members now and through the years. I strive to put others' needs before my own, focusing on team member development, listening and seeking ideas, stepping aside to allow others to shine, and always encouraging collaboration and growth, both personally and professionally. Your network can really make or break you as a leader, and it's important to keep a good mix of people in your life. I have cultivated a very large network consisting of former and current employees. The current and the best are pictured right here on this slide. Peers, previous supervisors, community leaders, as well as business professionals and owners in my community and the community I work in. I reach out to these different groups, and they reach out to me in turn, whether it to be for a job opportunity, a letter of reference, a nomination, or just some simple advice. This network has been instrumental in my ability to recruit, retain, develop, and promote my staff. I would like to share a deep personal story with you all today, an example of one of the hardest days in my leadership career early on, but the success that came from it by nurturing relationships. Years ago, a banker that directly reported to me at my previous place of employment had a very out-of-pattern, large cash difference. It was an overage that just couldn't be explained. The difference was heavily researched by my team, by myself personally, by our retail operations team, deposit operations team. There was no luck in finding the source of this difference. HR recommended that this employee be terminated. There was no warning to give her, no coaching, no help. Black and white, termination. And I thought to myself, how could this be? This employee was a hard worker, never had a difference like this before, and had grown so much in her role since she was hired. I fought as much as I could, but was powerless. I was ultimately tasked with letting her go. I had to do the dreaded deed myself, and my voice quivered and my body shook. And I will remember this always. This was a major turning point in my own career, and this is one of the biggest reasons I left that company that I was with, which also turned out to be the best move I've ever made and landed me at Fidelity Bank, where I am just so happy. I made sure that after my employee parted from that position, that we remained close. I knew she needed to stay a part of my network. As I do with so many of my previous team members, I watched her grow her experience in other jobs and always cheered her on from the sidelines. Fast forward to 2023. I was promoted to be the branch manager at our Clark Summit location. I had a full-time banker opening, and I knew just who would be the perfect fit for this role. I reached out, and she applied for the position right away. She will now be a Fidelity banker for 2 years this November, has already been promoted once, and I have had the absolute honor of being able to coach, mentor, and continue to guide her towards her goals. As stated in the title of this presentation, leave no one behind. That means save that contact information, write that letter of recommendation, ask a peer for advice, support your network, and continue to leverage and deepen your relationships. While preparing for this presentation, I did a lot of self-reflection, attempting to put into words to share with all of you how I've been successful in aiding my network and team members to dream big and to grow. During my research on leadership styles, I came across an article on Investopedia.com describing servant leadership. I read through it and I said, oh, that's me. The term servant leadership was created by Robert Greenleaf, a 20th century researcher who just didn't see the effectiveness of traditional leadership styles that tend to focus more on a leader-first perspective. In contrast to traditional styles, servant leaders look at others' needs first, helping them along the way, giving them autonomy, letting them be creative, and encouraging them to advance their careers. The qualities of demonstrating empathy, listening, truly caring for, and committing to the growth of others define a servant leader. The article lists some advantages of the servant leadership style that I would like to discuss. The article also goes over, some disadvantages of that. I'm only sharing the advantages today, but that article is on Investopedia.com if you're interested. So just some keynotes. Leaders earn the respect of others in the servant leadership style. When you have the respect of your employees, you have their buy-in and they will follow you anywhere. There is often a shared vision and greater trust. When our vision is shared and collaboration is happening, your team members trust the process and they trust you. Employee opinion contributes to company decision-making for better outcomes. Feedback is a gift. This is something I always ask my team for, whether it be opinions regarding the company or my own leadership. We can always improve. We can always be better. When an employee knows their opinions are wanted, they feel valued. Individuals just tend to advance in a supportive environment. This speaks volumes. Developing your employees may mean that they advance, and they may leave you one day, and that's okay. That's the exact type of turnover you should be seeking. One of the biggest mistakes you can make as a leader is to hold someone back for your own gain or for your own comfort. These servant leader qualities have positively impacted the way I lead, and in turn have had an equal effect on my teams and their dreams. I lead in such a way that my door is always open, and I give a fair, consistent experience. I want to know what your hopes and dreams are and how I can help you grow. So we talked about the why. Now I'd like to talk about the how. I'd like to go over some actual tips and guidelines that I follow personally with my teams. On this slide, you will see 3 different types of conversations. The first is getting to know you. When you hire a new employee, or if you're joining a new team, it is important to get to know them on a personal and professional level. These are some simple questions that can be used when you first meet, and they're very impactful, even if it seems silly. Questions can include your favorite food, snacks, your favorite color, music styles, movies. It's endless. What are their learning style preferences? Are you better at learning by doing? Are you a reader? Do you need to write it down and take notes? How do you like to be recognized? And this is important. Do you like verbal recognition publicly, or are you shy and you prefer to be recognized privately? This is really important. And then how can we hold each other accountable? And it's not just holding your team accountable, but holding yourself accountable. How do you prefer that? These are really just questions where you can just really get to know these team members better. The second way I connect with my team is really on a daily or a weekly basis. It's on an ongoing basis. It's important to be down to earth, transparent, and connect with your team. Working shoulder to shoulder when you can help develop and continue to grow trust. Some deeper questions you can ask during the week to your employees. How are you? How was your weekend? What challenges do you have this week? How can I support you in getting your activities completed? Do you have the tools you need? These are questions that are often overlooked. We expect, and we need to make sure that we're providing the support and making sure that they are set up for success. The third way I connect with my employees are formal one-on-ones. I hope everyone's doing these, but if you are not, I strongly recommend these are done monthly or quarterly, depending on the employee, and always documented. These conversations should be in a private setting and collaborative. This is important. Take this time to focus on 2 to 3 opportunities and strengths to leverage or improve upon. Come up with these items together. Set clear goals and be sure to follow up. My best advice, do not commit to something without following through. Do not say you're going to do something and not do it for them. Always be true to your word. This slide is just a brief overview. The handout you received gives some specific questions and prompts that you can use in your daily coaching conversations. You may be doing a lot of this already, and that's great, but I do challenge you all to go back and learn something new about your team members. Always remember to dream big and leave no one behind. I am hoping that you all have a lot of questions for me. Were there any questions submitted in the HOVA app? We got one, okay.
And development.
That's a great question. So how I measure achievement and development. So during these monthly or quarterly conversations, and that's really depending on the amount of help your team member needs. It's not one size fits all. We are really listing tangible action items for these team members to take. So these should have a connection to actual results that you can view. And that's how I measure. When we have that next follow-up, where have you improved? We're always inspecting what we expect, and my team knows to submit to me their work so it can be reviewed and so they can be coached. I hope that answers the question.
And you got 2 more that came in while you said that.
Fantastic. Thank you all.
How do you mentor someone who says often that they want to succeed, but they don't want to put in the work, the time, or the effort?
Absolutely. I think that's another great question. So it's really getting to know that person and what drives them, what motivates them specifically, and is this the right fit for them? If they are not motivated by the job they're in and they don't want to put that work in, is this the right fit? And I think it's just having that candid conversation just to get an idea of what they really want to do. What are they passionate about? And like I said, what motivates them? Because if it's not this, maybe we need to find something else for you.
And they keep coming in, so you must be doing
Great,
something right
thank
up there.
you. I appreciate you all.
What is the kindest way to help a team member achieve their goals when it's their own actions and behaviors that are holding them back?
Absolutely. So something I just learned about doing U-turns is something that can be translated to our team members. They really need to look inward to themselves on what they could be doing differently. And again, it's just really having that relationship that you already have with that team member and that trust that's already built so they trust your suggestions, but really having them be a part of their growth and asking them how they want to be accountable, how do they want to grow, and how can I support them.
How would you recommend weekly check-ins with over 50 team members?
Ooh, so I've never managed a group of over 50. So whoever put the question is it virtual? Do you meet in person? Are you supervising them remotely? That's okay. So in that case, if you're supervising 50 team members remotely, I would make sure that you are doing weekly email check-ins, even if it's a Teams meeting, and just trying to get face-to-face on what is challenging you. I would dedicate 50 employees. Wow, I only have 6 right now, so 50 is a little out of my wheelhouse, but I would just make sure you're as organized and fair with your time as possible, and make sure that each team member is getting the same amount of time out of you.
And diving off that, do you have any tips for getting to know your team members when their roles do have them fully remote?
Oh, absolutely. I still think it's really important to have those in-person meetings face-to-face through Zoom, through Teams. If you're hiding on the phone or your screen is black, you can't really see what's going on. And I think just having that personal connection and asking them about their life and just getting to know them and just asking them those questions. We can't be shy just because we're managing remotely. And I think that does present unique challenges that I have not come across yet. I am very lucky to be able to manage and see my teams every day and deal with them on a daily basis.
Now, what do you do if your manager is a micromanager?
I mean, I always ask my team for feedback. When we have one-on-ones, it's 360, and I say, is there something I could be doing differently? And if that team member said to me, and they have to tell me, because if they don't tell me, we don't know. If that team member came to me and said, you are micromanaging me, this isn't working for me, I would ask them, how do you want to be held accountable then? How do you want to be held accountable for your activities? Because if they're getting done, I do not need to micromanage you. So I'm absolutely open to that. And it's important to know that not everybody likes to be led the same way. That's a great question.
And I think it ties into how they get disciplined as well. So another question off that, what advice do you have for disciplining team members, but doing it gracefully?
Oh, absolutely. So if discipline is coming, that shouldn't be a surprise to a team member. They should not be surprised by this. This is something that they should probably know is coming. Don't ever let things fester or build up. I like to nip things in the bud and make sure that we are addressing things as they happen, always in a caring and respectful manner, always in private, always starting with, especially if it's out of character, are you okay? Is something going on that I'm not aware of? And then just really being transparent with expectations. Clear, this is what we need to see going forward. And I also think it's really important, even during those more intense coaching conversations, that you are signing and dating and committing, both of you, to correcting that behavior.
And they keep coming in, so again, you're doing a great job.
Thank you, because my speech was not 45 minutes.
And I know you spoke a little bit already about the remote jobs piece, but if you do have teams that are in multiple locations, how often would you recommend that you be physically present with them?
If it's multiple locations, I would say, depending on how many. So say I'm managing 2, I think weekly. And I think that if I'm managing, say I was managing multiple branches, I would try to make sure I'm visiting those branches quarterly, but also meeting weekly all together on a Zoom or Teams basis. And then if anything's needed more, then each month. Mm-hmm. So it depends on the situation, because that was a little all over the place.
Now, how do you deal with a team member who is a hard worker, wants to grow, but their character does cause problems with other associates?
Character's tough. It's really hard to coach to character. I could teach you banking. I could teach you loans. I can teach you business accounts. I can't change your character. But what I can do is be consistent in my expectations and what we expect, especially where I'm employed. We have a very high standard, our model experience, and that is what's expected. And especially when if it's eroding a team, if you have a team member who's causing problems, not good character, they're late, they don't care for others, they don't pick up they're not working together as a team, it needs to be addressed immediately, and how it affects the rest of the team. I think it's very important to tell them why and what the effect is, and to just be extremely clear with those expectations.
And you got a shout out here too. You have so much impressive experience, but what leadership skills are you excited about building as you evolve in your own career?
Oh, absolutely. So I'm excited to, like I said, I'm a branch manager. I don't plan on stopping there. So I am excited to hopefully move to the next level where I can manage other managers and manage larger groups and just have a larger scope of my skills and affect more people. So I'm really looking forward to being uncomfortable again and hopefully in a new role where I can grow those skills.
Great, thank you. Now, this one's a bit of a longer one.
Okay.
I have 150 direct reports in a busy emergency department. I struggle with maintaining that relationship with our night shift staff, and I want to add that they're not the best with checking their emails. I do come in on nights early twice a month, but am still missing staff. Any examples of how I can better interact with them on the unit?
Absolutely. I think it's just really something I spoke to before. It's very important to, when you can, work shoulder to shoulder with your team, just a quick check-in and just doing work along with them. It really grows trust and respect. Even if it's a quick hi, let me help you with this. What can I do to support? And just how are you? I just feel like we don't ask each other that enough. We're, worried about the job, and yes, we have a business to run, but how are you? Because if you're not okay, the shift isn't going to be good. Absolutely. I can't imagine managing that many direct reports in such a stressful environment. That's very impressive.
What bit of wisdom do you wish your younger self knew that would have been beneficial in your development?
Oh my goodness, my younger self? Oh. I look back on my younger self. She would never have thought she'd be here. And I'll tell you that. You can do anything, but be brave, because a lot of the things I've done in the past 5 years have been terrifying. So my biggest piece of advice is to, if you are passionate about it, do it anyway. Do it when your voice is shaking. Do it when your legs are quivering. Do it anyway. Be brave and take a chance. We don't want to leave anyone behind, but you don't want to get left behind. Speak up and just take a chance.
Now, there's a bunch of questions in here, but I apologize if I missed any. We still have time, so I'm going to go back to
I
them,
know
don't
we've
you
got
worry.
time. Thank you.
How do you get the team to stop focusing on negative past experiences?
Yes, absolutely. So negative past experiences, that could really fester. In my branches, so I just think of, you're on the teller line. You can't be negative because it's going to bring everybody down. We really need to focus on the now and going forward, and just reminding them that the past is the past. We make mistakes. We cannot change that, but what we can change is how we act and how we move forward and how we react to situations and negative past experiences.
And then can you maybe give some suggestions for the new leaders that are in the room, how they can be connecting with their team better in general?
Absolutely. So that's a great question. So I think that the handout I gave can really, really help new leaders. Just always be genuine in your word and be fair. Your employees will tell you, that's not fair. This one gets this and this one gets that. You have to be fair. You have to give your time equally. You really have to be true to your word. Do not make commitments that you cannot commit to. If you're going to do something for them, follow through. And for me, again, I think it's very important that you can show that you can do the work that they are doing and that you would never ask them to do something that you cannot do. And I think that that really helps earn respect. Truly, I do.
And this one's for me because we are at Empower and we do have women and professionals of all walks of life here, all ages, a lot of students that are in the room with us as well. And leadership doesn't just exist when you have years and years of experience behind you. So what would you say to some of those younger women in the room that may be looking to take on leadership opportunities in the future?
Absolutely. So just a little bit more about my background. I don't have a college degree. I have worked to get to where I am. You do not need to spend, depending on the career you're trying to get into, you do not need to spend your whole life paying student loans to go to college. You can do anything that you put your mind to. Don't be afraid to work your way up and put in your time. And just, again, do not be afraid to be afraid is really just my best piece of advice, because I'm terrified right now. But this is growth for me.
You're not showing it, so.
Thank you.
Another one that came in, how would you handle coming into a new team with some veteran team members and also some new hires? How are you getting everyone on the same page and not using the mentality of, well, I'm the boss, so I said so, or hey, we've always done it that way, so that's how we're doing it now?
That's such a great and important question. Thank you. So I can contribute this back to when I took over a very well-established branch that I ran for a couple of years. I was the newbie there. This team, they ran like a well-oiled machine. What can I do to impact them? So my first few weeks there, I spent the time just getting to know these team members on a personal level and just really observing. You cannot go as a new leader with tenured team members and try to reinvent the wheel. If it is not broken, you do not need to fix it just because you're the manager. Really listening to what works for them. And, about a month in is where I would really start saying, well, let's try this, or, this is really working. But coming right in and just bulldozing the place, it's not going to be well received unless it's really needed. But in the case I was in, that branch ran well, and it was up to me to really get to know the team, get to know the clientele, and really get to know how they operate. And that was a lot by observing and asking questions, not giving orders.
And I have not seen anything. I lied. I found it. What is the best way to manage different personality types? How do you help team members with different work styles work better together?
Absolutely. So I think I'm strong in being able to speak to different types of people. You have to know your audience, and to know your audience, you have to ask them those questions. What do they prefer? What are their personalities like? At Fidelity Bank, we do personality assessments, and I leverage those documents. And there's free personality quizzes and assessments that you can find online that are really a great way to get to know your team and, a mix of their personalities and tips on how you can speak to people differently. Because you can't coach people that are extremely sensitive the same way you can coach people that are extremely confident. It doesn't look the same. So I think you just really need to be mindful of your audience and who you're coaching, and understanding all of their different traits and how they work together better.
And it's an ongoing task, right? People
Ongoing.
change and grow every day.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
constantly
Thank you.
learning. What advice would you give to someone who has been in an administrative role for a long time and is now looking to grow into a leadership position, whether at their current organization or somewhere new? And also, how do you recommend navigating the shift in relationships when you move from being peers or friends with coworkers to now becoming their supervisor?
Absolutely. So can you ask me the first part of the question again?
What advice would you give to someone who has been in an administrative role for a long time and is now looking to grow into a leadership position, whether at their current organization or somewhere new?
Absolutely. So I think it's important. You do have to have, it's kind of like a catch-22. You do need to have some leadership experience before you can jump into a leadership role. So what can you do to shadow a leader that is strong? What can you do? Can you be a mentor first, to mentor and train other team members? I think that's really important. Just really shadowing with their manager and learning those skills, taking a class, because you can't just jump right into it. For the second part of the question, I've been in that situation where I'm working with peers and now I'm managing them. I've done it before. Again, it's just clear expectations. You have to be careful. You're not giving unfair treatment to people that you may have known at a different capacity. You have to really set boundaries and guidelines and follow them. And really, that's on you. It's on you not to slip into that and, treating people like friends still.
What resources are your go-to for personal and professional management growth? Do you listen to podcasts, any manager tools, any books?
I'm lucky enough at Fidelity that we do have leadership training once a month that we have just been honored and blessed to have. And that's a resource that I use. And there are, certain leadership podcasts and just articles online, and I'm always looking to grow and be better, but very grateful to work for a company that has really invested so much in their leadership teams.
Now, what do you hope your team members say about you when you're not in the room?
Oh, that's a great question. I hope they say Donna is the best. No, I hope that they know that I trust them, when I'm not there. So I'm not there today. And that they all wished me well to be here today. I hope they say Donna is fair. Donna really cares about me. She cares about my experience. She cares about the clients. She cares about the company. I would hope that that's what they have to say about me.
Any last minute questions as I
Yes.
refresh this
We can
app?
end early and go to lunch, and it's okay.
Well, it looks like that's all that we have in
Amazing.
here. Do we want to give another round of applause for Donna?
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks again for taking the time to listen and all the participation. I really relied on you guys today for that. I'm hoping to add you all to my network. Please feel free to reach out to me to brainstorm and connect on anything, to ask me any questions. My contact information is on the handout that I hope you all use and on the slide on the top. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much.